Hey everybody, Spartan here from SpartanTrading.com. I want to hit you guys with a couple trade reviews today. In this video, we're going to be talking about a low float name. We're going to be talking about a big cap name. So a low float trade and an options trade, or two options trades actually. So let's take a look at what we got going on. So today, I want to talk about this MRIN. I want to talk about Snow. So two different platforms here, but this is this MRIN trade that I did today. Basically, what happened was low float stock that was running. It made a pretty big move in the pre-market. Actually, let me just show you the pre-market. It's a former runner. Stock had some room to the upside based off of the daily chart. Basically, what I was looking for, once it came in the morning, I was looking for volume to come back in. And if that volume came back in, I figured it could squeeze. So there's a couple different levels I was looking at. 342 broke out. Then we're looking for around the 445 level. Then above that, I was looking for the, where was it? 505s and then into the 560s on the upside. So those are the resistance levels I was looking for on the daily chart. When the stock started to move this morning, basically what I saw is it came in all the way. Figured if it starts to break this downtrend and starts to squeeze to the upside, obviously you can see, shorts cover, continuation to the upside, intraday on that squeeze, and then into those resistance levels. What happened was it started to come off the lows, crossed the 50 EMA to the upside with some actual heavy volume. The float of this thing was about, I think it was 5 million. Let me just quickly confirm. Yeah, 5.26 million. And, we had a couple candles where 10 or 8 million to 10 million came in. So we got a float rotation within 10 minutes. I saw the volume coming in. I took the stock long right out the gate and we alerted it long in the room and all that stuff. And basically took it long heavy at $3. Sold a whole bunch on the L2 around that 360, 370 level when I saw a seller come back in. Held the position. As it came back, I had my stop just below this area, right below my entry area, 280s. It came back in a little bit. Sorry, not 280s, 270s. It came back in a little bit, held that 50 EMA, not 50 EMA, it held the 13 EMA on the 10-minute chart and the 50 EMA on the 10-minute chart. After those things held, just basically let the chart do its thing. We got an explosive move again with volume coming in, which caused the stock to, I'm not sure if it did halt. I can't remember, honestly. It's been a long day, but I think it did halt. And it pushed all the way into the 430 level where I took another piece off. And then it spiked all the way to $5 where that 505 resistance was. I ended up selling more into this area. And intraday, what happened was it created a flag. Now, on this flag that got created, I added back another quarter size at 426, 425. It broke out of the flag. I was basically looking at the flag pattern and the L2 to figure out when it could actually break out. Saw buyers come in on the L2. It popped to the upside. Sold a whole bunch into that pop. I was looking for a push and break above that 570 level. And what I did was I actually had a stop right below this area right here. And I ended up, just taking that position off at the end of the day around 410. Entirely when it did pull back to that range break area. I figured it was going to break down, and it did. So, low float stock, a couple points to the upside, 2 points. Solid trade, not bad at all. I want to talk about this other trade as well, which was Snow. Now, Snow was and I'm going to show you guys the daily chart on this thing. So I think it's a good idea to take a look at that. Snow was a range break, intra-flag range break to the upside, downtrend break, all that good stuff. EMA curl with a ton of room higher. Hasn't made a run really. It's only made, two runs since the IPO, the day of, and then kind of made a run after that. But basically was looking at a range break to the upside with a ton of room. So basically break of this 260 level in room towards 279, 278. If you guys follow me on Twitter or if you follow me on Instagram, I do side charts every single day. Yesterday, this was part of my side charts where I said, this is something that I'm looking at to possibly breaking out tomorrow. I alerted this thing yesterday. So if you look at the side charts, you'll see from yesterday. Let's take a look, actually. So yesterday, Snow, if it breaks this level, 252.72, then we got room towards, 279s, or, more room to the upside, take 260 calls, yada, yada. Now, it actually broke out today. And when it did break out, instead of taking the 260s, I went higher. And I wanted to go higher because I figured, okay, this got room to 279 on the upside. I'll take the 280s, see if we can get these things in the money. Now, the 280s, let's click on those real quick. 1 second here. There we go. 280s. So we took the 280s this morning, right out the gate, basically. So we took them around 35, 40 cents. As it started to run, we were basically just scaling out of the position the entire day. So as it was running to the upside, I was selling into this move. you know, obviously 40 cents, you move up 100%, you're taking some off there. You go up 150%, or sorry, 200% in this case, taking some off there. Took a little bit more off at, I guess it would be about 250%. And then I held the entire position. I tried to sell a little bit into the end of the day. Actually ended up adding accidentally into it, and then I ended up selling more at the end of the day. But overall was a 500% trade. I'm still holding some overnight. I got a piece of this snow left on the intraday or intra-week calls, and I got next week's calls that I rolled into, which we're going to talk about in a second. So, you know, pretty solid trade overall. Worked extremely well. 500% trade. I was expecting a move all the way to 279 in the short term. I'm still am. Maybe we get it tomorrow. We still got 2 days left in the week, and these contracts were 40 cents when we got them, so they're super cheap. I love when these big cap stocks break out, especially if they have range, because they can give you and pay you nicely if you are correct on them. And, you know, 40-cent risk on a you know, potential, I would say 5 to 10 to 1 trade is fantastic. Now let's take a look at this thing, or the roll I actually did on it. So let's take a look at the roll. And by the way, if you want to see the actual trade itself, here you go. So you can see the ad at the end of the day. And then I was like, oh, whoops. And then I sold the rest of it, or sold the rest of that ad and another piece of it at that 220 area. All right. So the roll, same thing, except I ended up rolling into this position pretty quickly out the gate. So after I made about 100% on that initial trade, I ended up taking a whole bunch at 35 cents, added into it at 40 cents, the 320s for next week. And then I was just selling on the way up, 50 cents, 65 cents, 70 cents, added a little bit more at 70 cents. And then I sold more at 85. So on this trade, you know, 100% on the roll to the upside and change. Ended up going up a little bit more, but I didn't sell more because I just wanted to hold it overnight. These are next week's calls that we rolled into. I'm looking to swing this thing. I wanted to hold more of it. Safer to always go at a week rather than swinging something on the weekly side if it's this far out of the money. You know, 320 calls, they're fairly far out. But if you give it, you know, a couple of weeks in terms of what we have now, then the premium's going to hold up. It should be fine from an option standpoint as long as that momentum stays in it. Momentum starts to die down, I'm taking the rest of that position off. So I did take off half the position when it was up over 100%, and I'm holding the rest of it overnight. And again, I'm looking for continuation to the upside on this thing in the short term. But anywho, just kind of a little bit of my thought process on 2 trade reviews, guys. Snow, MRIN, obviously completely different trades. We're talking MRIN, low float name, where it's all about momentum, volume, etc. And we're talking about Snow, where it's about breakout confirmation and then looking at strikes that could potentially get in the money or close to. So, you know, 2 trades. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Otherwise, I'll talk to you guys next week. If you have any questions, you can reach out, spartantrading.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you shortly.